positive. Keep rocking it, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you everyone for joining. I'm getting our live stream queued up right now, but hopefully everyone found, it looks like a couple people found us on the new invite. We are in the mix of switching platforms, so now we're running on the Barracuda Zoom. How you doing, Lloyd? First off, before we get into our special guest today, I wanted to congratulate any Buccaneers fans. Tom Brady is clearly still one of the best in the game. I don't know if anyone saw that fourth quarter drive last night, actually. It was a good way to start off the 2021 NFL season. Now into our guest, John Kennedy of Forge IT Consulting. John, how about you give a little introduction, let the people know what you do.
Well, like you said, I'm with Forge IT Consulting. I'm a single owner operator MSP slash outsourced IT consultant. I, basically handle small business IT for businesses as small as one person and as big as 200 people. Looks like you're muted, Jared.
There, Jared.
There we go. Yeah, no, thank you for that. And me and John have worked together on a couple campaigns, done a few webinars with Forge IT. Probably going back almost 8 months to a year now.
Yep.
Most recently, the campaign we worked on was a live seminar. So, John, can you tell the people about, what the live seminar was about and how, content like that, can positively affect the listeners?
So we did a seminar primarily about phishing, but, mostly talking about threats in cybersecurity today. Top threats, of course, being phishing and ransomware, but phishing being the top attack vector anyway. So talked about that in the live seminar. And while I didn't get a whole lot of viewership during the seminar, I was able to use the recorded one to turn that into an invite to a local lawyer group that needed to do CEUs. And I basically expanded that same seminar into a 1-hour CEU for those lawyers, which got me a lot of exposure to a lot of the local lawyers, which would make excellent clients.
Yeah, and you just never know, with creating content, you never know the impact that can have on someone. Someone, catches word of, seeing a phishing attack live and they're actually interested and concerned for their cyber health. Switching gears a little bit, I wanted to let you guys know John is actually a one-man show at his MSP, a one-man army, I would call it. So he, does everything. And John, I wanted to ask, what's a day in the life of running an MSP look like? When do you get to close the computer down? Do you ever get to, completely wind down and get some free time?
Well, I imagine it'll get a lot more crazy like what you're thinking later, but right now, because I've only been open for a little over a year, I don't have the client base yet to be that busy. Honestly, I've spent a lot of my time still on marketing to get additional new clients. Old clients that I've already onboarded, for the most part, they're pretty darn secure and they don't need to call me terribly often. That's the nice thing about being an MSP, is that once you've onboarded a client, you've got them secure the way that you want it to be, and you've done all the little projects that they came to you in the first place about why they hired you in the first place. They tend to be pretty quiet because you set them up right. They don't scream a lot.
Yeah, no, it's great. I also wanted to ask, what inspired you to want to start your own business, and more specifically, what made you want to dive into running an MSP or creating an MSP?
So I was working for another company that was doing essentially the same thing. It wasn't quite an MSP. It was definitely more of the old school break fix type of model, and only just starting to move towards the MSP model. And things were not going terribly well there. The owner was fairly absent, and he was the only marketing arm of the entire company. And so with him being largely absent for a few years due to personal reasons, the company wasn't doing so well. They were losing clients, and instead of doubling down on marketing to get new clients, they decided that they would rather just cut back on pay on the techs. I was like, okay, well, if you're going to cut back on my pay after all that I've done for you, And my job is to be here and do my best for you and for our clients, not to go get clients. Well, then if I'm going to have to start doing this kind of stuff, I'd rather do it for myself.
That makes complete sense, and it's good for you for being able to take that leap of faith and start your own business. Another question I had is, if you could go back, knowing what you know now, I know you've only been open a year, but if you could go back to when you started, would you do anything differently in terms of the start of your company?
I definitely would have tried to find more marketing venues early on. My initial plan when I was starting was, pre-COVID. It takes that long to get all the stuff together to be able to start your own company and have a business and actually see your first client, because you need that bank account, you need all of the infrastructure, you need to have your insurance, and all of these sorts of things take time. And so by the time I was ready, COVID had already started, and my main idea of going and knocking on doors nearby just wasn't viable anymore. And so if I had realized that digital marketing and partnering with other companies that like Scout to do marketing online was definitely going to work out a lot better, I would have definitely started on that a lot sooner, because it's definitely helped, along with doing some business to business referral type marketing as well.
Oh yeah, that also makes a lot of sense. And speaking of marketing, I definitely wanted to tie in Daniel here. Daniel, what do you have from Scout's marketing side that you can share with everyone today?
Absolutely. Let me just share my screen. Just this past week, we released our latest social media toolkit. So for those who might not be aware, every month, Scout releases a new social media pack with 5 to 10 new templates that you can edit and post to your own page. Partners get expanded packs, obviously, in their portal every month or so. But we cover recent events in the cyber landscape. We give you specific promotional posts for your various services. I believe this one included things for email and endpoint protection. And then I believe partners also got posts that help them, advertise some of their other products and services, like say, log security monitoring or network security monitoring, for example. And I paired it with this blog post about how you can grow an MSP social media following from scratch, because I recently sat in at a seminar about the power of micro communities and how you can sort of generate word of mouth and sort of become an authority in your given field. So I tried to adapt that knowledge into something that would be helpful for MSPs. And, because I'm always curious and always eager to sit down with new MSPs, I'm always curious, John, what would you say is your biggest marketing need right now at this stage in your company?
My biggest marketing what?
Your biggest marketing need. What would you say is something that you wish that you could sort of expand more upon, in the next in the coming year or so?
I can't think of one that would be directly related to Scout, honestly. The biggest thing that I'm struggling with right now is trying to figure out how to get my referral partners to understand how to refer me out, how to listen to their clients and the people that they talk to, or those things that would make them think, okay, this person needs IT either because they don't have one at all yet, or they have the wrong person doing their IT right now, because obviously both are problems, but have to be attacked in very different ways.
Definitely. And, for everyone who's with us live, we are still doing that giveaway. So you can, look for the trivia question that will be towards the end of today's chat. But I wanted to open it up, everyone's who's on the live Zoom here. Do you have any, questions for John? Anything that, you'd want to hear from him? Now, while you guys are thinking, I do want to, quote Gary Vee from the Build It Live presentation last week. He said that paid marketing on LinkedIn is a tool that is very special and that people should do more of. He said that it's so targeted and you can be so specific. If you wanted to target only CEOs or only CISOs, that's something you can do. You can limit it to industry. You can get very specific with online LinkedIn ads. Yeah, if anyone on the chat or on the live chat would wants to ask John a question, hear something from him, feel free to unmute and see. I'll give you guys some time.
Jared, this is Lloyd. I think you just mentioned the word. It's called time. So how do you have enough time to do everything you want to do? Organization wise, time management, that type of thing, to be able to, do the correct marketing, find the clients and serve your clients. I mean, what's your take on that? What do you do?
So I'm really a newbie when it comes to marketing. This is not my comfort zone. I don't enjoy doing it. I would rather be doing the actual work rather than doing marketing. Honestly, one of the main things that has driven my marketing and driven my ability to get new clients is a marketing and networking, more of a networking organization called BNI. It's been a great resource for me to meet other businesses, meet other people in various different geographic locations, because especially during COVID, because all of their meetings have been online through Zoom. I'm able to go and meet people all over the geographic area that I can cover, and even meet people from across the world sometimes. And you never know who is going to be the next person that's going to get you a great client. I mean, it can be anybody, and it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that's going to be a client of yours. It can be somebody that can't use you or whatever, but it still does know somebody. I am I'm definitely able to keep myself very well organized and keep my day organized, and making sure that I can keep everything on the calendar. That's key for me, is making sure anything that I have, any meetings, any appointments, anything that I have coming up, whether it's personal or for the business, has to be on the calendar, because if it's not there, it's not going to happen. So as far as the time management is concerned, that's my major takeaway.
In addition to calendar, you have to manage customer relationships like through a CRM, and you also have to manage tasks, and you have to manage projects.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't even have a CRM. I have I use an RMM tool that has a light CRM in it, but mostly I keep all my information in Outlook still, because I am still that small. But I manage those kinds of things. I don't know. I've just always been able to manage those sort of things either in my head, as far as how long the project is going to take and what steps are needed to be done, and keeping in touch with the client about the project, and managing stuff around it to make sure that it's not interfering with my day-to-day work. That hasn't been a thing that I've ever had to really worry about too much, honestly.
And thank you for the questions, Lloyd. John, great responses too. I just want to get to these questions in the chat very quickly. John, how did you develop your cyber stack? How long did it take you?
I'm still developing it. That's something that I've always been passionate about, is making sure that I'm finding the best things for my clients all the time. Always on the lookout for who has the best antivirus, who has the best, email filtering. And I'm not tied to any one vendor. Scout is definitely my number one vendor for anything having to do with network security monitoring and anything having to do with email. But honestly, I don't use Scout for antivirus, because the pricing point for them has just been too high for my clients so far. But my main goal, being a single owner operator and wanting to make sure that I can take care of clients that are as small as I am, has been making sure that anything that I can sell a single seat and it still makes money. I can't use anything that requires me to have 10 seats at minimum. And there's so many of them out there. I've had to really pick and choose which things I can do that are so that I can meet that single seat thing. One of the best resources I've had over, in addition to Scout itself, because since Scout changed things and made sure that a lot of their basic things like Office 365 monitoring, antivirus, and email monitoring are all, single seat available, is Pax8. Pax8 has been an excellent partner for finding those single seat available types of solutions. I started out using Bitdefender as an antivirus solution. I have since moved into using SentinelOne primarily, and they were able to bring me into Dropsuite and Skykick for online backups of Office 365 and G Suite. And they are very good about bringing up new products and making them single seat available.
Yeah, you definitely have to do what's best for your business by accommodating to your clientele, to your target market. This is the anti-webinar platform. So we're already 1 minute over, and I want to do the giveaway. Our frequent listeners may have a little advantage with this little trivia question that I'm going to give out. So everyone get ready to type in the chat. The winner is going to get a gift card for free coffee. And I'll go back and get your information afterwards. So the first person to get it right in the chat or to come the closest wins the gift card. Now, I want everyone to guess how many episodes, including today, of Coffee Chat Live have we done? All right. David P. with the quick, correct answer. Had a couple close ones. David got it right at 36. David, this is your second giveaway. You're winning it. We might have to restrict you.
Yeah, we got to put a limit on it. And you know what? I have the French press.
Yep.
So I don't necessarily, we can divvy out the coffee gift card if you'd like.
Although I think you might need some coffee beans to go with the French press. That's just how it works. But no, I'll be in touch with you, David. Thank you, everyone, for joining. John, I appreciate you coming on. Great information there. Good insights on running an MSP solo, one-man army. Thank you all. See you next week.